Hello there you guys, welcome to one of my videos. Gonna be giving you my starting 11 prediction for our game against Arsenal. So I'm gonna go with David De Gea in goal. David De Gea obviously was in goal for the Sheffield United game recently. And he was poor for Sheffield United's first goal. Some Man United fans have pointed fingers saying that one of Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's biggest problems at the club is David De Gea. A few years ago, David De Gea was regarded as the best goalkeeper in the world. But in the last couple of years, he has made calamitous mistakes. He's enjoyed good games though this season, and I think he's going to remain our number one for at least this season. This is David De Gea's 10th season at Manchester United, so he has been a long servant. At right back, I'm going to go with Wan-Bissaka. He didn't really impress me in the game against Sheffield. Didn't get forward enough, really. He did okay defensively at times. But defensively, he is superb. We've just got concerns about his lack of attacking intent and his distribution. This is Wan-Bissaka's second season at Man United. I think the two centre-halves will be Victor Lindelof and Harry Maguire. I have got my reservations about Victor Lindelof. Victor Lindelof has been at the club now for quite a few years. He's enjoyed bad games as a Man United player, but he's also enjoyed good games. Now, obviously, it was Tuanzebe that was alongside Harry Maguire in the game against Sheffield United. And I thought Axel Tuanzebe was abysmal. He was caught by Keane Bryan for Sheffield United's first goal, and obviously Sheffield United's winning goal got deflected off Axel Tuanzebe. Axel Tuanzebe, though, had a very, very good game against PSG earlier on this season in the group stage. That was away to PSG. And obviously we've got Eric Bailly that has sustained an injury. And I certainly prefer Bailly to Lindelof, but my concern about Bailly, he is injury prone. But he has done well since he started playing again. So I prefer Bailly ahead of Lindelof. Harry Maguire, he obviously scored against Sheffield United. That was his first goal at Old Trafford. But apart from the goal, I thought he enjoyed a very, very poor game against Sheffield United. His passing was wayward. He was too slow. Showed no leadership. And Harry Maguire has enjoyed some good games this season. But, he wasn't worth the £80 million that we got him for. He is the most expensive centre-half in the world at the moment, and he is our current captain. Don't forget he had that incident in Greece before the start of the season. Now at left back, I'm going to go with Luke Shaw. Luke Shaw didn't start against Sheffield United. It was Tellez that started, but Luke Shaw came on and made an impact. And I think Luke Shaw has really, really improved under the Ole Gunnar Solskjaer era. Defensively he's been superb. He's got forward well, he's got into good positions, he's put good crosses into the box. My only element of concern about Luke Shaw is that he is injury prone. Now, in that midfield, I'm going to go with Paul Pogba and Fred. Paul Pogba did start against Sheffield United. I thought for the vast majority of the game he was poor, but Paul Pogba did well in the first 10 minutes. He looked bright. Paul Pogba's performances recently have actually been very, very good. Paul Pogba did have an ankle injury earlier on in the season. He was out for the vast majority of last season with an ankle injury. Paul Pogba recently gave us an update on his contract talks, and he said he does remain happy at Man United, but he's not thinking about a new contract yet. Now, it said after our 2-1 win against Fulham that Paul Pogba was considering making a U-turn at the club. That means staying at Man United. He could even sign a new long-term contract at the club. I think his future is on hold until the end of the season. Pogba has had a long-running transfer saga. He's been linked with a move to PSG in recent weeks. The other week, PSG were talking with Mino Raiola, and it said that Mauricio Pochettino identified Paul Pogba as his top target. He's been relentlessly linked with a return to Juventus. Swap deals have been high on the agenda. It did mention earlier on this season that Juventus had offered us Aaron Ramsey as part of a swap deal for Pogba. We rejected it. They also offered us Douglas Costa as part of a swap deal for Pogba. We rejected it. Pogba did enjoy 4 good years with Juventus. Pogba's also been relentlessly linked with a move to Real Madrid. He could stay at Manchester United potentially past the summer. But I'm not going to assure that he's going to stay. Now, earlier on this season, we triggered that 1-year extension on his contract, so he's under contract with Man United until June 2022. Don't forget his agent Mino Raiola came out and told 2 Sport back in December that his client's career at Man United is over. He said he's unhappy and he has to leave and he's got no intention to sign a new contract. Solskjaer was furious with Mino Raiola's announcement because it was just before the game against RB Leipzig. Pogba's our most expensive signing at the moment because we paid £89 million for him. So yeah, I think he'll start this game against Arsenal. Maybe he'll go in more of an advanced role because in some games recently in the league he's been put in more of an advanced role. Solskjaer said earlier on this season that Pogba can be convinced to stay at the club if the club win trophies. But at one point it looked certain that he was going to leave Man United, but you know he has been inspiring our title challenge. Fred, like I said, I think he'll start. He obviously didn't play any part against Sheffield United. I think Fred has really improved under the Ole Gunnar Solskjaer era. You know, he showed good attacking intent and he's broke up the play well. I just think Fred needs to read his game better. Fred's been at the club now a few years. I think ahead of Paul Pogba and Fred, we will go with Bruno Fernandes. Bruno Fernandes did play against Sheffield United and weren't that good against Sheffield United. You know, had a few openings in that. There has been a few games where Bruno Fernandes has looked off the pace, but in most of his games at Man United, he has been very consistent. And he's our best player and is the best signing we have made since the Sir Alex Ferguson era. Bruno Fernandes recently denied that he needs a rest. So he's saying the exact same thing as actually what Solskjaer said prior to the Fulham game, because Solskjaer said that, you know, Bruno Fernandes does not need a rest, and he defended Bruno Fernandes. He's been at the club now almost a year and he won Player of the Month for December. He's won that now quite a few times, reflecting on his good performances. On the left-hand side, I think we're going to go with Marcus Rashford. Marcus Rashford played against Sheffield. He wasn't good against Sheffield, Marcus Rashford. He did show his skills at times and he got some good runs in behind, but he weren't at his best. But I think Rashford has enjoyed a lot of good games at Man United. He's enjoyed good games under the Ole Gunnar Solskjaer era. You know, Rashford has been part of the club for several years. He's been a United player since the age of 7, and he's been in our senior squad since 2016. And since then, he has become an integral part of our team. Sometimes we play Rashford out wide and sometimes we play him centrally, but I think he's more effective out wide. Rashford did well in the game against Liverpool in the Cup. He got a goal and he also got an assist. On the right hand side, I think we are going to go with Mason Greenwood. You know, Mason Greenwood wasn't too good against Sheffield United either. But again, you know, Greenwood put a good performance out against Liverpool in the Cup. Got a goal and also got an assist. Mason Greenwood hasn't played as much as I expected during the course of this season. But don't forget, earlier on this season, he had personal issues. He was also out with injury at one point and he was out with illness. Ollie's been defending Mason Greenwood a lot this season. At the start of this season, we give him that number 11 shirt. And I think up top, we will go with Edinson Cavani. You know, Cavani played in the game against Sheffield. Well, he didn't start. He obviously came on. Like I said, he got in some good positions, but his finishing wasn't to his usual level. But Cavani, you know, has made an impact since he come in. We got him on deadline day last summer on a free transfer. He signed a 1-year contract with Man United with an option of a 2nd year. Not so long ago, he was serving a 3-match ban for the racist comment that he put on social media last month. Obviously, Ollie confirmed he had apologised. Solskjaer spoke about him earlier on this season, saying that, you know, Cavani is definitely a starter for Man United. We're already looking to extend his contract. And Solskjaer revealed the first thing that I asked him when he came into the club, and that's whether he could wear the number 7. So that's how I think we could line up against Arsenal on Saturday. I don't think Anthony Martial will start. There's obviously been a lot of Man United fans saying that Anthony Martial needs to be dropped, because he has been out of form this season. He's had his chances, but he just hasn't been clinical enough in front of goal. Martial obviously played against Sheffield United. He was abysmal. He did have a disallowed goal though. VAR actually didn't check that. Earlier on this season, Martial had a 3-match suspension because he got sent off in our 6-1 defeat to Tottenham. But Martial was good last season and he was good in his debut season under the Louis van Gaal era. Martial's been at the club now over 5 years. Sometimes he plays out wide and sometimes he plays centrally. But a lot last season he was playing centrally. Solskjaer was the one that gave him that number 9 shirt. This game is massive against Arsenal and it is a must-win game for Man United. We have got to bounce back from that 2-1 loss to Sheffield United recently. That was an embarrassment against Sheffield United. You know, we lost to the worst team in the Premier League. It was our first loss in the Premier League since November the 1st. And it was just Sheffield United's 2nd win this season and their first Premier League away win of the season. And it was Sheffield United's first win at Old Trafford since 1973. Despite, you know, Sheffield United winning, I can still assure that they are going to get relegated this season. But we have been very, very poor at home this season. He's at, 5 defeats now at Old Trafford in the Premier League this season. But away from home, we've been absolutely exceptional. You know, we haven't lost away from home in the Premier League for over a year now. We are unbeaten in our last 17 Premier League away games. So we've equalled the record from the 98-99 season. If we do beat Arsenal on Saturday, we would have broken that record. Now, Arsenal have had a good record against us at the Emirates in the Premier League in recent years. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has lost twice to Mikel Arteta in the 2 appearances they have gone against each other. So obviously Solskjaer will want to get one over Mikel Arteta. Arsenal have been in very, very good form in the league recently. You know, they recently beat Southampton 3-1. They did have that setback in the FA Cup. You know, they lost 1-0 to Southampton. Earlier on this season, there was a lot of Arsenal fans that were demanding Mikel Arteta out. Because earlier on in the season, Arsenal were so inconsistent and they were sitting 15th at one point, so they were facing a relegation battle. But I think there's a lot of Arsenal fans that are now Mikel Arteta in. Mikel Arteta has been Arsenal manager now for over a year. Obviously won his first trophy as Arsenal manager last season. That was the FA Cup. Arsenal are the most successful team in FA Cup history. They have won 14. Now, before Arsenal had Mikel Arteta, they had Freddie Ljungberg in on a temporary basis. Before they had Freddie Ljungberg, they had Unai Emery. They obviously sacked Unai Emery after like 18 months. And before Emery, they had Arsene Wenger. And Arsene Wenger endured 22 years with Arsenal. But it's always a big game is Arsenal Man United, but it was always a very, very good fixture when we had Sir Alex Ferguson and when they had Arsene Wenger. Ferguson and Wenger are the 2 longest serving managers. You know, like I said, Wenger endured 22 years with Arsenal and Ferguson endured 27 years with us. Arsenal beat us at the Emirates last season 2-0 and they beat us earlier on in the season at Old Trafford 1-0. And that was Arsenal's first win at Old Trafford in the Premier League since 2006. Like I said on the preview, on paper, Arsenal have got a very, very good squad. Obviously, they've got Emre Aubameyang. Now, Mikel Arteta is not sure if Aubameyang is going to be involved in this game on Saturday. Aubameyang has been absent recently because his mother has been having health issues. He's endured some bad periods as Aubameyang, but he's still a world-class player. I also liked him a lot when he was at Borussia Dortmund. Don't forget, we inquired about getting him at one point. Lacazette, he's one of their key players. I do rate him a lot. They've also got Nicolas Pepe, who I like a lot. Well, he enjoyed the bad start to his Arsenal career, but as it went on, you know, he got better and better. Arsenal got Nicolas Pepe from Lille. It was actually Unai Emery that recommended him in. They've also got Willian. They got him in from Chelsea. It was Mikel Arteta that recommended him in. Mikel Arteta has just recently recommended Martin Odegaard in. He could be making his debut for Arsenal on Saturday. I presume he's going to be Arsenal's new number 10. They've also got that Smith Rowe. He's actually currently out with injury at the moment, but he's been very, very impressive. They've also got Saka, that young player, who's been in very, very good form. They've also got Thomas Partey. He's made an impact at Arsenal. They got him from Atletico Madrid. It was Arteta that recommended him in. He's going to be involved, I think, on Saturday. He actually scored the goal at Old Trafford earlier on in the season. Was it Thomas Partey? Oh, no. Did he score the goal early on in the season? I can't remember, but he did make a fantastic impact. They've also got El Nene, who's a pretty good player. El Nene, sorry. Granit Xhaka, I don't really rate him, to be honest with you. I think they've got that Nketiah as well. However you pronounce his name. I think he was on loan with Leeds last season. Arsenal have also got Kieran Tierney, who I do like a lot. I rate him at Arsenal. I also rated him a lot when he was at Celtic. He's currently out with injury at the moment, but he's sustained a few injuries since he became an Arsenal player. They've also got Gabriel Magalhaes. Obviously, Mikel Arteta recommended him in. They've also got David Luiz. I think it was Emery that brought him in. They've got Pablo Mari. Mikel Arteta recommended him in. I think he's out with injury at the moment. They've also got Dani Ceballos, or Ceballos, however you pronounce his name. I think he's currently out with injury at the moment. I think they have got that William Saliba. They've obviously got Mustafi. I think there's rumours of him leaving Arsenal. They've got Maitland-Niles. They've got Rob Holding, who I don't really rate. They've got Hector Bellerin. He's quite a good player for them. Their first choice goalkeeper is Leno. Arsenal have let quite a few players go. Obviously, Ozil recently left them. Ozil was actually a long-serving player for Arsenal. Obviously, Guendouzi went out on loan. Lucas Torreira also went out on loan. Socrates recently left them. Petr Cech left them, was it a year or two ago now. Lichtsteiner left them. Welbeck left them. Laurent Koscielny left them. They had Walcott at one point, but he left Arsenal. They also had Iwobi at one point. He left Arsenal. Jack Wilshere left them, I think, under the Unai Emery era. Sami Nasri left them, and Aaron Ramsey left them. Don't forget, back in 2012, we got Robin Van Persie from Arsenal, and you can say that he won us the league in 2013, reflects on the amount of goals he scored. And we also got Alexis Sanchez off Arsenal back in 2018. Don't forget, back in 2004, Arsenal were the Invincibles because they went undefeated all season. But I am really, really looking forward to this game. Obviously, I think after Arsenal, we have got Southampton, and that's going to be another tough game. And after Southampton, we've got Everton, and that's going to be another tough game. So games are coming up thick and fast for Man United. But we've got to put a much better performance out against Arsenal than we did do against Sheffield United. I've already given you an update on the transfer news and that. You know, Solskjaer has said that he's not expecting any signings before this transfer window closes. But he said fringe players could leave before this window closes. Now, like I said to you earlier on today, the board have failed to back Solskjaer in the transfer market yet again. And like I've said to you so many times, the board has been one of the biggest problems at the club for several years. Obviously, reflecting how poor our recruitment policy's been, we've also overpaid for players, and the board haven't backed any of the managers enough that we've had since Ferguson retired. But Woodward has come out quite a few times and promised Solskjaer that he will back him. Even when we endured them bad periods under Solskjaer, Ed Woodward come out and assured that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's job is safe because, like I've said before, our board have got a soft stance on Solskjaer. And this January transfer window is Solskjaer's 5th transfer window as Man United manager. I think we've got to make more signings if we are to be genuine title contenders. I've given you the 3 areas where I think Man United need to strengthen up. I think we need a striker, we need a world-class midfielder, and we also need a centre-half. I think it said we're looking to make around 4 signings this year to complete our squad overhaul. But there has been a lot of players on our agenda. You know the news on Declan Rice, you know the news on Jadon Sancho, you know the news on Dayot Upamecano, you know the news on Erling Haaland. So we'll be looking to make signings in the summer. So we actually are focusing on more of the outgoings in this window than we are the incomings. There's still deadwood that we need to get rid of at the football club. Now, I think Jesse Lingard is close to joining West Ham. He said that West Ham are set to sign him on loan until the end of the season. West Ham are leading the race. But he recently said from Sky Sports that West Brom have made an inquiry. And it said Sheffield United and Newcastle are in for him. ESPN recently said that we will allow Lingard to leave, despite Solskjaer saying earlier on in this window that he wants Lingard to stay. Lingard lost his place in the team a while ago. Don't forget, we did trigger that 1-year extension on Jesse Lingard's contract. But, Lingard hasn't played for us in the Premier League since July. This season he's made 2 appearances in the Carabao Cup. And he played in the FA Cup 3rd round against Watford. And Lingard's, has he made around 133 appearances in the Premier League, something like that. Solskjaer did confirm that Sergio Romero and Marcus Rojo are free to leave in this January window because he said that their contracts won't be extended. I want Jones to leave the football club. There's obviously been rumours of Brandon Williams going out on loan as well because he's now our 3rd choice left back. It says that Southampton, Newcastle and West Ham want him. And there's been rumours of Daniel James going because Daniel James has lost his place in the team. And I think some more players could leave Man United in the summer. Now, a lot of Man United fans now believe that we're not going to win the title because obviously we're not going to make any signs in this window by looks of things, and we recently lost to Sheffield. But we are still in the title race. If we won the Premier League, it would be a fantastic achievement. And it would be our first Premier League title since 2013 and our 21st title overall. A lot of people now are believing that City are going to win the title. Solskjaer knows how important it is to get his first trophy on the board as Man United manager. Because we haven't won a trophy for just over 4 years now. And we know that's nowhere near good enough to our standards. But there's 3 trophies we can pursue this season. We can win the Premier League, we can win the FA Cup, and we can also win the Europa League. I do have concerns about Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's decision making. According to Rio Ferdinand, he believes he got his midfield tactics wrong in the 2-1 defeat to Sheffield. But there's been a lot of games where he's been tactically naive, but there's also been some games where he's showed tactical flexibility as Ole. I'm still Ole in, one bad result, isn't going to change my perception on him. Because we've been in such a good run of form up until that Sheffield United defeat because we was unbeaten in our last 13 Premier League games. By the way, there has been no discussions yet over getting Solskjaer a new contract at the club. He confirmed that prior to the game against Sheffield United. Solskjaer's just got 18 months left on his current contract. But yeah, he has been Man United manager now for over 2 years. And I'd say reflecting now on he's been at the club, he's gained some managerial experience and he's learned quite a bit on the job. Probably still a few things he's got to learn on the job. We appointed Solskjaer in December 2018. Obviously, he was the interim manager for 3 months and he did very, very well in that 3-month period when he was the interim manager. So obviously then we decided to give him the job permanently in March 2019. Like I've said, there's positives you can take from Solskjaer's tenure as well. We've enjoyed good periods under him. He got us to the EFL Cup semi-final earlier on this season. We lost that to City 2-0. He's got us to the FA Cup 5th round. Solskjaer did well last season in his first full season at the club. Despite our reluctance to back him with transfers, I still think he's made good signings as Man United manager. He's spent over £200 million at the club, and I do like the way he has promoted the youth. Solskjaer, has he done his press conference? I think he'll probably be doing it tomorrow for the game against Arsenal. So, anyway, guys, that's everything to update with today. Drop your comments, likes below on the channel. If you do, consider subscribe as always, and take care. God bless. See you all again very, very soon.